Provincial Congress here in Free State. My name is Luyono Mpiti, and as you can see, the energy is incredible. I mean, it's insane. We've got a lot of people outside with us. I mean, it's going to be an incredible broadcast. So thank you very much for joining us this morning. Make sure if you're watching this live, like and share this broadcast with your family and friends. It is going to be an exciting day. Later on, though, we have DA leader John Steenhuisen, who will be addressing the Free State Provincial Congress. We will also be chatting to DA leaders throughout the day, taking you through this Provincial Congress. So please stay tuned with us. We are going to have a good day. My name is Leono. Please stay tuned. We'll be back.
Steenhuisen back with us today.
Right,
Welcome,
thank you.
John. It's really good to have you. What do you prefer? Do you prefer working early in the morning or late at night?
I do both. I don't have an option.
You've led this party through some of its most trying times, from being an opposition party to being a party in government. That could not have been easy.
If you are leading, you are having to promote and praise those who are performing, but you also then need to be able to have the guts and courage when they don't perform. You need to remove them.
Absolutely.
And that's also the tough part of leadership.
I'm definitely looking forward to your autobiography. I mean, not anytime soon.
Listen, some people are going to have to leave the country.
We've got to speak about George, right?
Which George?
Belofte wat ernstig opgeneem word. So word vertroue in die Vrystaat herbou.
Our strength is grounded in our branches, in our constituencies, in structures that are organized, visible, and active in our communities, because real change starts close to home. This is not only about elections. It is about presence, consistency, and showcasing every day that local government can work better. Across the Free State, our communities are ready for municipalities that deliver the DA difference. Ready for councils led by the Democratic Alliance. Ready for DA-led local government that puts communities first, because the Free State and the people deserve to be put first. Together, we are rebuilding trust in our communities. Together, we are strengthening our ground campaign. Together, we are positioning the DA as the only alternative to vote for. The responsibility is ours, and we take it seriously. The work continues on the ground, in our communities, side by side with the voters who rely on us. This is the Free State we are building from the ground up.
Yes, well done everyone, and maybe just to underscore how very efficient the DA in the Free State is, I've been informed by the presiding officers that ultimately every single voting delegate who registered this morning cast their ballot. So well done. So for now, those votes are, I want to say, kept in a digital safe, and the presiding officers will later today make an announcement that they are about to embark on the counting, and then of course candidates or their agents may join them to observe that specific process. Okay, delegates, you would have noted earlier this morning when I built the protocol we're operating on that I didn't recognize a provincial leader. Because at that point in time, my understanding was that we had no provincial leader. Ultimately, we firstly had to form a quorum, and then voting for those contested positions would have to conclude successfully before an uncontested candidate can say that they've been duly elected. So it's with a sigh of relief that that has now happened, and that we can say, I want to say, welcome back to Dr. Roy Jankelson, our provincial leader.
Let's Roy, Viva Roy, viva! Welcome back, Roy, welcome back!
Yeah, so Roy, of course, may now be one of the longest serving public representatives in the country. He's very fond of telling the story how he, as a bright-eyed and bushy-tailed youngster, contested on behalf of the DP in the 1995 local government elections, and then lost his deposit after he got only, 43 votes, Roy? 26. I added 17 there, which he didn't get. Yeah. So that, of course, is firstly an indication to you that failure is not final. So if Roy can stand up after that clap he received in that election and then become an MP, an MPL and a provincial leader, then all of us must take disappointment in our stride. But what is also very important for us in the Free State to say today, Roy, is that whilst long-serving public representatives, and I sort of get in that bracket now, there's always the temptation to go into a bit of a comfort zone, cut corners, do what is necessary not to get into trouble. Roy is the exact opposite of that type of public representative. And in that sense, Roy, not only because you're the provincial leader, you remain both the heartbeat and the pulse of the DA in the Free State. And we're thankful that you are re-elected for another term. And with that honey out of the way, it's your opportunity to come and address your Congress. Welcome to the stage, Dr. Roy James.
Viva Roy, viva! Ari en Kalagat! Ari en Kalagat! Ari en Kalagat!
Dumelang. Good morning. Goeiemôre. Halala die, halala.
Allah!
Vrystaat.
Vrystaat!
Viva die, viva.
Viva!
Colleagues, I want to thank you all, the representatives of all branches and structures of the DA in the Free State, for attending this family Lekgotla, which we arrange every 3 years to reconfirm our pledge to serve the people of this province and elect our leaders. I also want to thank our federal leader, John Steenhuisen, our party's pater familias, for attending the Free State Congress. And with him, our deputy federal chairperson, Solly Malatsi, and representing the cousins in the family from Mpumalanga, their provincial leader, Jane Setole, and our cousin from the Eastern Cape provincial leader, Andrew Whitfield. Then we have one of our own, born and bred in the Free State, and the head of our national operations, Liana van Wyk, with us. Many of us here remember that she used to arrange these very congresses. And we used to vote on time, as I recall, but we didn't do it online. It was physical voting before we had smartphones. We are proud of Liana's achievements in the party. And it's also proof that our Free State cadre policy works. And even Werner indicated that Andrew Whitfield also has roots in the Free State. So even the Eastern Cape has DA people in the top structures of the party. And a special thanks to our presiding officers, Mimi Gondwe and Desiree van der Walt, and they are becoming permanent features at our Provincial Congress. And then we have a very professional cheerleader here today who made sure that there was some gees in this meeting, and that is Taba Maifala. We thank you for the work that you have done this morning and assisting us to ensure that this Congress is vibrant and exciting. To our visitors, welcome to the Free State, the most central province in the country with the most hospitable, peace-loving and friendly people. I would also like to thank our dedicated professional staff under the guidance of our Provincial Director, Sydney Leach, who work tirelessly with our political structures across the Free State to ensure the success of this Congress, during which we are visibly demonstrating the DA difference to the people of the Free State. Yesterday, when we were talking to the police VIP section, they were telling us no knives, no weapons, anything like that in the meeting. And I said to them, do we have to bolt down the chairs as well? Because we know that some political parties, congresses, they throw the chairs at each other. The Free State difference is we don't have to bolt down our chairs. For the past 3 years, since our last Congress, I've been part of a great management team comprising our outgoing provincial chairperson, Werner Horn, our finance chairperson, David van Vieren, and our 2 deputy chairs, Jafta Mokoena and Igor Skeerkogel. Thank you for your commitment and service to the DA family in our province. I am being given the mandate and privilege to continue working with and serving the best public representatives, constituency committees, branch members, and professional staff in the country for another 3 years. Thank you for that. We host this Congress in Mangaung City Hall because soon we will be in government here and in other municipalities across the Free State. Viva DA, viva!
Viva Free State!
This blue hall today symbolizes the future of the Free State. The blue team is committed to excellence, and we have started our countdown to the 2026 local government election. As a political party, we exist to offer our people political alternatives during elections, and the people of the Free State are desperate for change. Our people have suffered enough, and we will continue to toil on their behalf so that they may reap the harvest of a blue electoral choice and a blue victory in the Free State. The presence of everyone here today reflects our joint commitment to the Democratic Alliance and our shared belief in a future DA-run local and provincial governments in the Free State that are grounded in integrity, that value accountability, and above all else, respect the people that we serve. Congress is a vital moment in our internal democratic processes. Our Free State Congress today, the largest yet that we have had, is a visible testament to our unity and strength. Our greatest strength is in our internal cohesion, our organizational structures, and an entrenched culture that allows for robust, open, and constructive internal engagement in good faith on a level playing field, and always with the welfare of our constituents in mind. The DA's continuous growth in the Free State is based on our local issue-based focus on building consensus around our common objectives of an open society, sound, transparent governance, reliable basic services, safe communities, and creating opportunities for investment that ensures meaningful employment for all our people in this province. We also remain committed to growing our own timber through our annual Future Leaders program in the Free State that started in 2020. By nurturing and assimilating young talent into the DA family, we build a strong foundation for a bright future. I thank our legislature staff, led by Geran Summersgill, for continuing to ensure that we have a purpose-driven program and quality graduates every year. And it was nice outside to see so many of our graduates part of this Congress this morning. This program is working and is going to ensure that our Free State has a bright future.
Viva Fiscalizas, viva!
The DA in the Free State is an activist party. Our members, public representatives, and professional staff are motivated and driven by the internalization of the creed that any injustice to a resident of the Free State is an injustice to all. And as activists, we experience a personal and heartfelt desire to take action to fix that which we perceive as wrong in the Free State. And that is why each one of you are here today, because you are activists at heart, and because we know what is wrong in the Free State, and in our hearts we have this internal desire to fix that. The DA in the Free State is best known for reliability, stability, and commitment to our principles. We regard our integrity as a non-negotiable foundation on which the DA family in the province was established and continues to grow. I know this because I've walked the road with many of you here today who have been part of the DA's journey since our establishment in 2000. I've experienced firsthand how we have and continue to change the breathing rhythm of our political landscape in the Free State. 25 years of hard work and activism in the Free State, and we will reap the benefits of that in our local government elections. After concluding this important Congress, our attention must shift firmly to the task ahead, the upcoming local government elections. The people of the Free State are looking forward to credible and stable alternatives that offer competent local governments that will improve the lives and livelihoods of residents in our local communities. We must reaffirm the reality among voters that in a democracy, your vote is the contract for your future. The future you will experience depends on the contract you sign with a political party through your vote on election day. And we must remember that in a democracy, you get the government that you vote for, and you deserve the government that you vote for. So if you continue to vote for the ANC, and we must explain this to our voters, you cannot accept or expect a different outcome. You get the the party that you vote for, and you deserve the political party that you vote for. So people with sewage running down their streets, people who are unemployed, if they continue to vote for the ANC, they cannot expect a different outcome. You have to vote for change if you want a different outcome. We all live in municipalities somewhere in the Free State in which the lack of water and electricity are a regular feature. We all live with the stench and health hazards of raw sewage in our streets, dams, and rivers. We all experience the decaying infrastructure, potholes, and the wasted opportunities. We all of us here, live in fear of criminals in our homes and neighborhoods. We all have family members who do not have the dignity of a decent job. We all share concerns about the futures of our children in an uncertain world, because we are all part of our communities, all of us sitting here. We all experience these injustices because some voters in the Free State gave the ANC 3 decades of absolute power in government. But these same voters are fortunately now realizing that the ANC do not necessarily have the wisdom to wield such power. Change is coming to the Free State. The ANC in the Free State is morally dead. And for the past few decades, they've been wandering around aimlessly looking for a political grave. As a caring party, we have the responsibility of digging that grave for them and burying them in the local government elections. We have the responsibility of offering the people of our province freedom from injustice and poor services and liberation from fear. We will never give up on the task of ensuring that every resident of this province understands that only the DA can bring real freedom to the Free State. And to our detractors who wish for our downfall, I want to give you this warning. There's an old saying that only when you have poisoned or drained the dam will you truly appreciate and eventually wish for the taste of fresh, clean, blue water. We know that the future of the Free State is not determined by those who complain or shout the loudest, but by those who take action. Our responsibility is clear. We will demonstrate through our actions and promotion of our tested policies that the Democratic Alliance is ready to govern, ready to deliver, and ready to build a better future for all our residents in every single municipality in this province. For the DA in the Free State, winning elections is not a prize, it's a responsibility. And that is our pledge to our federal leadership here today. Democrats, we conclude another successful DA Free State Congress, united in our diversity, focused on the work ahead, and with a ferocious determination to win. Halala DA, halala.
Halala.
Until we have done the DA clap. Let's go Free State. Let's go DA. Harry DA. Harry Vrystaat. Voorwaarts DA. Voorwaarts Vrystaat. Thank you.
Viva for Viva!
Dankie Roy. The Democrats delegates, we're also fortunate to have in our midst today a guest speaker representing the federal structures of our party, Solly Malatsi. So Solly, I can tell you, was my benchmate when I think technically we could be described as backbenchers, and that was quite a fun time because unlike myself, Solly has a sense of humor. So we would often be in trouble with who was then the chief whip, Mr. John Steenhuisen, because the cameras caught us laughing at the wrong time. Sometimes at colleagues, but that luckily it didn't end either of our careers. You would know that Solly is now the Minister of Communications and Digital Technologies. The opposition calls him Minister Starling, but we won't do that today. And the one thing I must say about Solly, and it's not just because he's the one who's here today, is when one looks at the contributions in Federal Council and the Federal Executive, and that's possibly because he's originally from Limpopo himself, one of the things we as the Free State have always appreciated in a great way is that even though in Sesotho one might still call him Mohlankana, he is really now becoming one of the elder statesmen of the party, and in performing that role, he's always looking to have the back of the smaller provinces. So Solly, thank you for being here today, and we're eager to listen to you. It is of course so that even Elon Musk has Free State roots. His mum is originally from Welkom. So if you have an announcement about the first landing site for Starlink today, we will also listen to that. But let's welcome to the stage Solly Malatsi.
Viva Solly, viva!
Dumelang Free State, Lekai, Reteng Democrats, it's truly an honor for me to join you here in your Congress. As Werner indicated, I am from the small province of Limpopo, but here representing the federal leadership of the party. And I stand here as a proud member of the DA. And I'm very proud to see so many beautiful faces here representing not only our unity as a party, but the diversity that we have as a party. And this speaks to the growth of the Free State. And as the provincial leader said, this is your largest Congress, and it shows that the growth that you have had over the years is represented by not only the representation of branch representatives here, but also the number of public representatives that you now have. And Democrats, there is no doubt that we gather at an important moment in our nation's history, at a time where no single party has or holds outright power nationally. And as we all know, the government of national unity was formed, and it was rooted in a fairness for all and accountability to the people. The DA entered this government to rescue South Africa. And we did so because we wanted to leverage our position for far more stronger oversight, to deliver services fastly, to stop corruption, and most importantly, to bring transformation change from within. And our role is one of principled engagement. It was to drive and continues to drive a reform agenda based on evidence-based policy and clean governance. But we will never compromise on our values and our principles, because those are the guiding lights that has kept the DA standing and will continue to keep us standing for so long. And if truth be told, it hasn't been a smooth sailing. There's been plenty of lessons, and it is lessons that we will take forward for us to have a far more stronger performance in the government. But Democrats, South Africa is a much better country today because the DA is part of national government. Every economic indicator reflects this. Our economy grew by 1.3% in 2025, and it is projected to continue growing in 2026. The rand, as we now know, is stronger than it has ever been in many years. Investor confidence in the country is growing. And it was through the efforts of the DA, not opposition parties, not NGOs, that we led the fight against the VAT increase so that we can protect South Africans from the heavy burden of the cost of living. And all of these have been possible because the policy reforms that the DA has advocated for are starting to take shape within government. And now through our representatives in national government, in other spheres of government, provincial government and local government, we are working hard daily to give communities a taste of the DA difference. In my portfolio, I'm driving hard to make sure that we can extend meaningful access to the internet, regardless of whether you stay in a small province like this one in my home province or urban areas. As many of you would have heard, this week ICASA announced decisive steps to ensure that data becomes even more affordable. We released regulations that make provisions for data that you have purchased to roll over if it hasn't been used. This means that consumers will get full value for their money when buying data, because we recognize that the need for affordable data in a thriving digital economy is crucial. Lower data costs enable households, students, hustlers, small businesses to use the internet more productively and to participate meaningfully in the digital economy. But we also know that access to data alone is not enough. And we are taking decisive steps to make sure that we make smart devices even more affordable. And as a party that has embraced the use of technology, even in our voting, we are making sure that low-income households can also afford smart devices. We have advocated for the removal of the luxury tax on smart devices under 2,500 rands. And what we have noticed is that ever since that, there's been an increase of 49% in the sale of entry-level smart devices. And more importantly, we are exercising our ministerial powers, making sure that we use regulations to shift away from race-based economic empowerment to pursue economic inclusion to attract the investments that our country needs so that we can uplift millions of South Africans instead of benefiting a few political elites. But Democrats, I also want to recognize the incredible work of the DA leadership, the public representatives, and the activists of the Free State. Your hard work and unity has been instrumental in the notable growth of the DA in this province, as evidenced by the performance in the last elections that we had. The increased support is a testament not only to the people of this province believe in the DA, but to the quality of the leadership that we have. And despite your size, the DA in the Free State is a major contributor of leaders to the party nationally. Our incredible Deputy Speaker is from this province. Our excellent Chief Whip in the National Assembly is also from this province. The national spokesperson of the party is from this province. and our very funny yet hardworking, meticulous presiding officer in Parliament is also from this province.
Ala leadership, ala.
So there's clearly something in the water here in Free State. So we must have a bit of it before we all go back to our respective places. But as we head into the local government elections later this year, I have all the faith that the province will once again grow and continue to produce quality, capable leaders that our party needs. And I have no doubt that if we remain focused in showcasing the DA difference in our communities, we will take over Metsimahulu, we will take over Mangaung, and we will retain Fesiledabi because we are visible in communities, we are responsive to communities' needs, and we are proactive with coming up with the solutions. So I wish you well for the rest of the Congress. And I'm very proud that we also have the provincial leaders of both Mpumalanga and the Eastern Cape here showcasing the support that all the provinces have for the Free State. And also we have our federal leader here who will be our keynote addresser. Halala Free State, halala.
Halala.
Ya leboga.
Danko Solimalasi, danko. Isopat.
Solly, and thank you, Taba. Democrats, in my research, I've uncovered that there's an idiom that one can find in all three of the main languages used in our province. So in Afrikaans sê ons, 'n boom word aan sy vrugte geken. In Engels sê ons, a tree is known by the fruit it bears. And in Sesotho, it goes, Sefate se chewa kadetolwana. So, it of course has some biblical roots, which is important to many of us, but if one takes a political party, in our case our party, as the tree, then of course our fruits ultimately is the output we were able to produce, the votes we, as Roy said, we live and breathe to get votes, the votes we produce in every election, in every fruit-bearing season. And whilst, of course, and you can give yourself another round of applause, as Solly has indicated, you were some of the main contributors to us again in 2024 being able to add more votes to our provincial vote tally. By the way, and I will say that in my provincial chair's report later on, we are now the only one of the 9 provinces who have grown in every provincial election since the party has been formed. Well done. But why I use the example of everyone nurturing, feeding, watering the fruit tree that is the Free State, it must be said by us today that one of the main contributors to us unlocking the growth in votes in the 2024 election was our federal leader. And let me explain to you why. Firstly, as our primary spokesperson, John in that election was very clear about the message to South Africans. But secondly, and for us in the Free State even more importantly, whilst in a national and provincial election, the temptation and quite possibly the pressure will always indicate that the federal leader will go to the provinces and the cities where vote is to be produced. The one thing John in my view, did better than any of his predecessors was to balance his diary and spend more time than any other in provinces like ourselves who also want to grow our vote. And whilst I introduce John and ask him to come and present his federal leaders address, I want to, on behalf of the Free State, really say, John, thank you. You must never underestimate the impact your presence, both through events. I think, unlike any of your other predecessors, the last visit to the province in Maluti Apofung, where we showed the highest growth, was 5 days out from the election. We've never had that privilege, and it certainly contributed to our growth in a great way. Let's welcome to the stage our federal leader, John Steenhuisen.
Viva DA, viva! Pambili DA, pambili! Forward to the 26 elections, forward!
Forward!
Forward to victory for the DA, forward!
Forward!
My friends, Democrats, our public representatives, our professional staff, but most importantly, our activists here today. Can I hear you? Yay, there they are. It's great to be back with you here in the Free State, and it's great to be back amongst this incredible family of ours, this blue family. And every time I come back to the Free State, I always feel like I'm coming home. So thank you for that. And we meet at this Congress today at a very interesting time in South African politics. And there's a great deal of confusion out there, but nobody is more confused these days than the DA's critics. And I've been reading in the media recently, our critics can't seem to decide which of their criticism is the right criticism. We've got some of these so-called analysts, I've got another name for them, but it's not polite in the Free State to use it. Some of these analysts say, oh, the DA's been captured by the left. They've been captured by the left.
Batu.
And then, yesterday, somebody put the Daily Maverick article in front of me. Now, I don't read the Daily Maverick. It's very bad for your health, particularly your mental health. And there was an article by Bitter Becky Davis. And she said that the DA has now shifted to the right.
How?
So which one is it, critics? Are we being captured by the left? Have we moved too far to the right? Let me just tell you something, my friends. We are exactly where we need to be in politics. We are on the side of the voters of this country.
Yeah,
we are the side of the people who want work. And our principles and values that have sustained us from the 1950s are the same principles and values that we champion today and which we put before the people of South Africa. So, I don't often agree with bitter Becky Davis, but I want to agree with her on this. The DA is right. We're right on the economy. We're right on jobs. We're right on BEE. And we know what the right thing to do in South Africa is, and that is to vote the ANC out and to vote the DA in. That's what we need to do. And we know as well that the right thing to do in this election is in places like the Free State to bring an end to the occupation of city halls and town halls across the length and breadth of this province, where the people sitting in those positions do not care about the people of the Free State. They care about tenders. They care about jobs for pals. They care about how much money they can steal from the people. That's what they care about. And so the right thing to do is to get them out of office and to get the DA into office. And what are we going to do when we do that? We're going to put the right people in the right jobs for the right reasons. We're going to have DA mayors and DA speakers and DA majorities doing the right thing every single day, not the wrong thing, doing the right thing every single day. And we know how to get municipalities right because we've done it wherever we have been able to. Umgeni Municipality in KwaZulu-Natal, Kocha Municipality in the Eastern Cape, Midvaal in Gauteng, the city of Cape Town in South Africa, in the Western Cape. Wherever the DA gets into power, we get things right. And so it is wonderful to be with you here in this hall today. And the history of this wonderful province, as many of you know, is enmeshed with the very liberation of South Africa. It's a painful history, but it's also one that reminds every one of us of the importance of sacrifice, of courage, and of determination. And, importantly, the need to respect each other and embrace our diversity. And just look at who we are, the best of South Africa in a single political party. That's what makes us strong, and that's what's going to make sure that wherever we fight, we will win. So as we approach the anniversary of the 36th anniversary of F.W. de Klerk's famous speech on the 2nd of February 1990, when he began the process to get us towards a constitutional democracy, we need to stop and remember the cost and the price of sacrifice which lie behind our history, and the prospects of change and improvement which these sacrifices promised. But we don't need to only keep the flame of hope for change alive, but to demonstrate to our voters and to South Africans that a better future is waiting for them if they vote for it. Now, the Free State is a province of enormous potential. But realizing that that potential means a lot more than just getting municipalities working. It rests on competition and viable political alternatives. And I want to thank two leaders today who've given extraordinary service to not only this province, but to the Democratic Alliance. Firstly, I'd like to thank Werner Horn. Let's give him a round of applause. Your outgoing provincial chair. Now, Werner has dedicated more than 2 decades of his life to public service, to our party, to our cause, and to the people of the Free State. For over 5 years, he served as a provincial chair of the DA here in the Free State. And as I'm sure you've seen when you switch on TV to watch Parliament, the incredible job he's doing in the National Assembly. At the same time, he's our deputy campaign manager to Ashel Sarupin for our upcoming local government elections. Now, this is a remarkable contribution. Werner's organizational ability, his leadership, his discipline, his astute political thinking and of course his very dry sense of humor, have helped to build our party. Thank you, Werner, for your contribution here in the Free State, and look forward to seeing what you go on to do next. I'd also like to thank our provincial leader, who's going nowhere. He's staying right here, and he's re-elected, and well done to the people of the Free State for sticking to Roy. Roy's wealth and depth of experience knows no bounds. He's an intellectual politician, he's an instinctual politician, and he has a sharp intellect. And Roy, your abiding commitment to the DA, not only in this province, but nationally, shows you to be one of our greatest leadership assets that our party possesses. Your dedication and your strength have taken the DA in this province to new heights. Unlike previous individuals, you don't talk, you get on the ground and you do. So let's give him a round of applause.
Viva Roy, viva!
Now, colleagues, I was here in this hall roughly 18 months ago, and I'm sure many of you were there on that wonderful night where we hosted the Rescue South Africa tour. And on that night, we had booked the hall, hoping to fill it. Well, the people started to roll in, and about half an hour before the Rescue South Africa tour was about to start, we had to open up the gallery at the top because there were not enough seats down here. And about 15 minutes before we was due to start, we had to open up the back doors at the hall so that people could sit and congregate there, because people wanted to come and hear our message of hope and change. And about 5 minutes before we were due to start, they had to open up the doors at the back and the entrance so that people could sit in the gardens and listen to our message of hope and change. And at that meeting, I stood on this very stage, in this very hall, in front of many of you, and made the pledge that we were going to, as the DA, rescue South Africa. And we have kept that promise. We have rescued South Africa from the EFF and MK and a government that would take us backwards into the Stone Age. We have rescued South Africa from one-party domination at a national level. And we have rescued South Africa from poor service delivery. And just look at the metrics. 18 months of the DA in government, the rand is going up against the dollar. 18 months of having the DA in government, our currencies never look better. We're off the grey list. Our country's moving forward. Investments rolling in. But it doesn't stop there. If I had told you 18 months ago that you would be able to go into a banking branch and apply for an ID instead of having to sit at Home Affairs for 2 days, you would have laughed at me. But today that is a reality because the DA is in government.
Viva DA, viva!
If I had told you 18 months ago that you would have a Minister of Education that actually understood the basics that are needed to get education right, and a Minister of Education who's now responsible for the highest matric pass rate we've ever seen, you would have laughed at me. But today it is happening because the DA is in government.
Viva!
If I had told you 18 months ago that we could harness digital technology, that you'd have a Minister of Communications fighting to lower the price of data, fighting to lower the price of handsets, so that ordinary South Africans, wherever they are in urban or rural areas, could have access to the internet to grow their business, to study, to learn, to be able to flourish, you would have laughed at me. But today, we have a DA Minister of Communications and Digital Technology who's doing just that. And I can go on and on. The work we're doing in Home Affairs, the work we're doing in Public Works, the work we're doing in Forestry, Fisheries and Environment, the work we're doing to ensure more black farmers have access to finance and funding and are able to join value chains. The list is endless. And so, to those who doubted us, when we stood on this platform and told you we were going to rescue South Africa, look at what we've done. But the journey doesn't stop there. And we have many miles to go before we sleep. Many miles to go. And so the next big frontier that faces us is local government. And we need to liberate the municipalities of this country from the morass of corruption, maladministration, cader deployment, and baantjies vir boeties en al die nonsense wat die ANC besig is nou. Because we've got a foot in now at national government. We've got a foot in some places in other parts of the country. But if we truly want to liberate South Africa, we need to get hold of local government. Because it's local government that puts water in the taps. It's local government that puts electricity in the homes. It's local government responsible for the roads that get you to and from work and upon which your business survives. It's local government that makes sure there's proper sewerage and reticulation. It's local government that stimulates local economic development so that we can get jobs. And let me tell you, in this last election, I traveled around to many places here in the Free State. I've been in Sasolburg. I've been in Tabanchu. I've been in Maluti Opofeng. I've been here in Mangaung. I've been to many places here. And what this province needs now, more than anything, is to sweep the ANC out of these municipalities and get the DA in. The people in this hall need to be in charge. Because we know how to do it. We've demonstrated that we do it. We've shown clearly that we can do it. And if you don't believe that, just listen to the president when he talks about who really gets things done in South Africa. Because our people want water in their taps. They want roads that don't destroy their vehicles. They want clinics and libraries that are open, staffed, and functional. And they want municipalities that work. From Mangaung to Windberg, communities are deeply worried about the scarce water resources, about sanitation, about infrastructure failing, and about the complete absence of long-term water planning. In Brandfort, residents are still asking a basic, heartbreaking question. When will we have safe drinking water again? Now, no family should have to worry about whether they can drink the water that comes out of their taps. In Bothaville, farmers and businesses and residents know that roads are the backbone of the local economy. When roads collapse, businesses disappear, and when businesses disappear, jobs go with them. In Mpumalanga, administrative paralysis has become so dire and a daily reality. Invoices are unpaid. Services are stalled, decisions avoided. Now, I'm here to tell you and to tell the rest of South Africa that a working municipality isn't a luxury. It isn't a nice to have. It's not something you've got to drive to the Western Cape to experience. Now, let me tell you as well that we hear you, we understand it, and we take it seriously. And where the DA governs, we govern for all. We deliver water that flows, sanitation that works, roads that hold, clinics that function, and administrations that are clean, professional, and accountable. So let's be honest about why the municipalities in the Free State are failing. It's because of a political system that has prioritized patronage over competence, loyalty over performance, and survival over service. And the result is what we see today. These failures are all man-made. And that's the good news. Because if they are man-made, they can be fixed by men and women of integrity and courage. We can fix it. Now, let me tell you something. This province has produced incredible leaders. It continues to produce incredible leaders. Ellen Kuzwayo, who was born in Tabanchu, reminded us, and I quote, "The struggle is not just against injustice, but against despair," unquote. And that speaks directly to the heart of what many communities here in the Free State are feeling today. But Ellen Kuzwayo also taught us something else when she said, and I quote, "I learned that change comes not from waiting, but from standing up and doing the work day after day," unquote. And that is what the DA is doing. That is what you are doing. And that is what Democrats around the length and breadth of South Africa are doing. That spirit lives on in this room. That spirit lives in every one of our wonderful, beautiful activists here today who keep knocking on the doors. It lives on in councillors who stand their ground under the most awful circumstances. And when everybody wants to blame them for what's going wrong, instead of directing the blame where it belongs. It's in our volunteers who believe that the Free State deserves better, even when the odds seem stacked against them. And I want to say very clearly to each of you today, you are not alone. You are not alone. As part of a national government now, the DA is in a position to push and demand accountability, to push and demand professionalization, and to support municipalities that want to work. But real change begins here, on the ground, and it begins with you. So, let's be clear about our mission. I said in the last election what our mission was: moonshot, rescue South Africa, form a government, keep the ANC below 50%, keep the EFF and MK out of power. Our mission here in the Free State is to now reduce the ANC's majority in municipalities below 50% in every single municipality.
Whoa! Bua, John Bua.
And it must be for us to become the largest party in those municipalities.
Ebo.
We must not be distracted by small parties that seek to divide the electorate. These parties can easily be manipulated by the larger parties and coalitions. And believe you me, no matter how some of these parties pretend that the voters' best interests in mind, at the back of their minds, all they're thinking about is what's in it for them. This year's local government election, Democrats, will be run by trust and care. Who do voters trust to get their municipality right? And does that party care about me, my family, and our future? So, as you go out, you're all working towards something bigger than the election result. You're building the foundations of South Africa's future. In every district, in every municipality, people are asking for the same thing: a party and a local government that works. Democrats, I believe fundamentally that the Free State can be fixed. I believe that our municipalities here can work again. And I believe that our people can thrive. But these things are not going to happen easily. And they're not going to happen by osmosis. They're going to happen when each of us becomes an evangelist on the doorsteps of South Africa, showing people they can trust the DA, showing people that the DA cares for them. Are you ready for this task?
Yay!
Are you ready to go out and evangelize every single day?
We are ready.
Are you ready to take our message of hope and change to every corner of the Free State?
Yes!
Well, I hope you are, because let me tell you, we've done a lot together, my friends, but we've got a lot more to do. And we're not going to relent. Not for one moment will we be tired. Not one moment will we rest. And not one moment will we waste time on anything else other than liberating our municipalities from ANC government and getting them replaced by DA governments, governments that work, governments that deliver, and governments that don't steal. And so, as we leave this Congress Hall today, let us go forth with courage, with determination, and with an unrelenting spirit of change and hope for this province, for its people, and for its future. A united DA, a strong DA is the remedy that South Africa needs. Let's get out there and give it to South Africa. God bless you, Democrats. Thank you for your work. Let's keep pushing forward.
Thank you, John, for that very inspiring message. If any of you have not been under the impression that we have marching orders between now and the local government elections, hopefully that misunderstanding has been cleared up. So indeed, thank you for all of the kind words and thank you for the inspirational message. Democrats, delegates, we move on with speed. While John was speaking, I had a look at the faces of some of our contesting candidates, and they look particularly bleak even from up here. So we must move with the program so that ultimately the votes can be counted and they can be put out of their misery. But we have work to do. So we move now to the draft resolutions that was submitted by members of the party in the province. I want to call to the stage to deal with that Dulandi Leach, who was the chair of our resolution subcommittee. And thank you, Dulandi, to you and your team, even before you take the podium, for the hard work in making the resolutions received fit for presentation today. We will also invite to the stage through Dulandi all of those who proposed resolutions, all of those who seconded it, and then of course we've in following I want to say the new professional practice, ask you to register beforehand if you want to speak to some of these resolutions. So those who have registered will also be asked to be close to the stage so that when Dulandi gives you your opportunity, you can come and address Congress.
In conversation with the Provincial Minister Anton Bredell, Provincial Minister of Local Government, Environmental Affairs and Development Planning. Sure, it's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful.
Sure. Talking about this year, it's a big year. It's an election year.
Massive.
What is at stake?
Everything is at stake. We're running out of time.
Sure.
If you look at the infrastructure of a place like Knysna, we're in trouble.
Yeah, I've been to Knysna once.
When it had water.
When it had water. But now, it's quarter to Joburg. How do the people of Knysna find themselves in the situation that they do?
It's bad management. Can we deal with this? It's not politics.
I really hope the people of Knysna are listening to this podcast so that they know what is happening with their water. The DA podcast.
Well, Well, welcome back. We are still live at the DA Provincial Congress here in Free State. We just heard from DA leader John Steenhuisen making his address at this Provincial Congress. But right now we are joined by two very interesting and exciting individuals. As you can see, you know, the Congress has been so much fun. It's still going on, but we thought let's just hear a few thoughts from some of our leaders in the Democratic Alliance. So I'd like you to please help me welcome Dr. Annelie Lutrit, who is the Deputy Speaker in Parliament, as well as Solly Malati, who is the Minister of Communications and Digital Technologies. Let me start with you, Annelie. How are you feeling? What does today mean?
Hi, Loyolo. Well, this morning I was already very excited, but I must tell you, after these speeches from Roy, Solly, John, I am so energized and so much looking forward to what we can offer the country. And I think this Congress was important because this just reinforced why we do what we do.
That's it. And Solly, I mean, you are fresh from stage right now after delivering that speech. Of course, Solly, our Deputy Federal Chairperson in the party. How do you feel? And really, what does this gathering mean for the people of Free State?
Look, it's an exciting Congress. It's the first of many Congresses that are going to happen in the build-up to our Federal Congress. But just also the energy, you know. I think after John spoke and even listening to Roy, the journey that the Free State has taken to growing and getting to where you are, I was like, let's go campaign tomorrow. Can the election just come already? And this is why we need these Congresses in the lead up to a Federal Congress to galvanize our structures, to rally in our leaders, and to go to communities campaigning excited and enthused about our message.
Now, Annelie, we know that there's quite a lot of problems that the people of Free State are facing. An uncaring government, potholes, lack of water, quite a number of issues. What does this gathering mean for the people of Free State going into these next elections?
Well, for me, the important thing is that we get together and that those problems are recognized not only by our provincial leaders, but also our federal leaders. So I was very, very happy that John referred to towns in my constituency, Botawil, Winburg, Brandfort, because it's terrible. Loyolo people are going without water for weeks on end. You cannot live like that. We cannot afford this anymore. So this Congress reinforces the importance the DA attaches to these problems and to fix it, like our leader says.
And Solly, you know, it's interesting because we were talking about earlier infrastructure and also what you are doing in a very important portfolio in government. Can you tell us more about how the people of Free State can look at your work and how they can really benefit as well?
Absolutely. I mean, a large part of our focus has been around making sure that access to the internet is affordable, because we know the power of having access to the internet for learners, accessing learning material, helping families who are already strained by the high cost of living from spending less on traveling costs for extra lessons, because with affordable data and affordable access to the internet, you can access those from your household, right? But we also acknowledge that you need the digital tools to be affordable. And that's why one of the immediate areas I did after getting into power was to collaborate with the Deputy Minister of Finance and work together with Treasury to say, let's look at what drives the cost of smart devices to be expensive. And the luxury tax is one of those. So you'll now know that we are able now to get smart devices below 2,500 to be without the luxury tax. And what we are seeing is low-income households are buying more smart devices. And that means more people, you know, not just using the internet and devices for entertainment purposes, but for economic activity. You reach broader markets. And I think coming locally into here, it's about an investment in the basic infrastructure that makes sure that, you know, the roads are well maintained, that the water is running, the sewer infrastructure is protected. Because every investor wants to come into a community knowing that they'll have lights on for their operations to run, that there'll be an uninterrupted supply of water. And it's something that where we govern, you look at Midvaal, you look at Cape Town, putting a large amount, I mean, over 1.6 billion of their budget is dedicated towards upgrading sewer infrastructure, because it's an important element of restoring people's dignity by guaranteeing quality basic services.
And, you know, we also, Dr. Annelie, you wear two hats as well, similarly to Solly as well. You are the Deputy Federal Chairperson of the Federal Council. And, you know, I suppose I want to ask you a question now as the Deputy Speaker of Parliament. Can you tell us more about what the DA is doing in Parliament and what is that work and how it's affecting South Africans?
Well, I think there's been a total change since we have the government of national unity, and also in the House. We're not in the executive, we're in the legislative arm, and I think we've just brought a different kind of approach to all of this. Our presiding in the House is much more unbiased, it is fair. That is something that me and, well, my colleague Werner, who's the House Chair, that is what we try to do, is to actually show our members this is what a speaker is supposed to be doing, not to decide that one party is more important than the other, but that we are there for a specific reason, to serve the voters, so that everyone has the opportunity to say what they need to say, and that we don't have these kinds of interruptions that we've always had. Of course, they do happen, but I think there is a definite change since the GNU.
Well, I know you guys are in a rush to go back inside and catch up with the program, but before you leave, Solly, I just want you to maybe just tell the people who are watching at home, I mean, we're going into an election, very crucial election. We heard John speaking about it earlier in his address, about how important and decisive this election is for the DA as we head into it. So what is our message that we really want South Africans to hear as we head into the local government election?
Yeah, our message is about, you know, having capable, ethical leaders in municipalities, because municipalities are the first entry point of communities interacting with services. We need to fix our local municipalities. We need capable, ethical leaders in those that will focus on making sure that communities have access to basic services, that public money is spent on public services and not benefits for politicians, and that there is transparency in how municipalities do their business. But for that to happen, we need people to register to vote. We need people to be active. And we as the DA and our structures, we have to be visible in communities. We have to be responsive to communities' needs and their issues, and finding and helping them find solutions to their service delivery issues.
That's true. And now, Annelie, I suppose I'm going to just pose the same question to you, to speak to the South African people and what is important that they should know on this local government election process till we get there.
Well, the important thing is to realize that the power is in your hands, that you are the one who can vote. As a voter, you decide. And we as the DA can give our message. We can fix everything. We have a very good track record. And if you are sick and tired of the mismanagement by the ANC, if you are sick and tired of not having water, not having electricity, living in a dirty place, unhealthy place, you have one option, and that is to vote DA.
Well, there you have it. That is Dr. Annelie Lotreat, the Deputy Chairperson of the Federal Council, as well as Solly Malatsi, the Deputy Chairperson of the Democratic Alliance. Thank you very much for joining me and sharing your thoughts. I think it is a very interesting time for South Africans. There's a very important election that we're heading to. And of course, as we heard from John earlier, speaking about the Rescue SA tour that took place before the 2024 elections, and speaking about how it was so important that the work began with rescuing South Africa. We now have ministers in the GNU, deputy ministers in the GNU, who are doing the work of rescuing our country, fighting for our economy, ensuring that we have jobs for young people, ensuring that we are really turning things around in our government. And so I think it's such an important message that John spoke about, primarily when we look at what he said. It is time to liberate municipalities, and this local government election is really just about that. So it is an important time. We are still, behind me, the stage program is still going on, but we are going to take a few more of our leaders who are going to be speaking to us. Of course, we're going to now be joined by Dr. Roy Jankelson after a short break that we will take, and we'll be joined by Councillor Hilton Masdorp, who will be joining us and speaking to us more about the problems of Free State. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Steenhuisen back with us today.
Right,
Welcome,
thank you.
John.
It's
It's
great to
really
be
good
back,
to have
yeah.
you. What do you prefer? Do you prefer working early in the morning or late at night?
I do both. I don't have an option.
You've led this party through some of its most trying times, from being an opposition party to being a party in government. That could not have been easy.
If you are leading, you are having to promote and praise those who are performing, but you also then need to be able to have the guts and courage when they don't perform. You need to remove them.
Absolutely.
And that's also the tough part of leadership.
I'm definitely looking forward to your autobiography. I mean, not anytime soon.
Listen, some people are going to have to leave the country.
We got to speak about George, right? We must
Which George?
The DA podcast.
Well, welcome back, South Africa. My name is Luyo Rompiti, and I'm still with you right now speaking to the DA leaders of the Democratic Alliance. I'm luckily joined by the DA provincial leader, Dr. Roy Jankelson, who is with us. I'm also joined by Councillor Hilton Masdorp, who is a councillor in Ditlabeng. So thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me. I want to start with the provincial leader, who also is fresh off the stage, just delivered a speech. And Roy, can you just tell us what your speech was about and, what was your message? Because I think you had some very important points you mentioned.
Yolo, the important thing is to give people of the Free State a message of hope. People in the Free State are fed up with the poor service delivery, with the lack of water, the sewage running through their streets, the poor roads, infrastructure that we experience every day with the potholes, and also with sewage, and our streets are just dirty. And we want to give people hope. What we're telling our people of the Free State is that there is hope. We are the trusted alternative. We govern across the country in many municipalities, and where the DA governs, we bring the DA difference to those communities. So we're not giving the people in the Free State something that's strange or alien. It's something that's tried and tested. They just have to go to those municipalities and see for themselves what can be done under a DA government. And that's the hope that we are bringing the Free State. We're not going to create something new. We're going to bring that tried and tested recipe to the people of the Free State, and that's what we offer them. But we also offering them stability. In every election, the DA in the Free State has grown. And the reason why we grow is because we're a stable party in the Free State. We're a party of integrity, and people know that they can rely on the DA in the Free State. And that is why we grow, and that is why in this election we're going to see something change in our municipalities, but only if the people want it. We must remember that people must be informed that in a democracy you get the party and government that you vote for, and then you deserve that as well. So you cannot continue to vote for a party that doesn't deliver services, that has destroyed your municipalities, and then expect a different outcome. You must then take responsibility for that. So don't cry afterwards, don't toy afterwards in the streets if you've got sewage running through them and you continue to vote for the ANC, because then you deserve the ANC.
And Roy, I mean, it's quite a significant day for the Free State and for the Free State, the Democratic Alliance in the Free State. I mean, can you share more about what this day means and what it means for the residents of the Free State as well?
This is probably the most important day for any political party, and that is our congresses. We have federal congresses, but then we also have provincial congresses. And it is at provincial congresses where we recommit ourselves to the residents of the Free State, where we elect our leaders, where we adopt resolutions that affect our people in the province. So it's a very exciting day. It only comes around every 3 years within the party, and that is why it's so exciting for us. And if you go into the hall and you see the excitement in the hall and the vibrance in that hall, then already people can see the DA difference. Just a basic thing of not throwing chairs at each other at our own conference is something different to others. But we are united in our diversity, and it's something visible that people in the Free State and across the country can see.
Well, Councillor Hilton, there's no chairs being thrown today, as our provincial leader is saying. How are you feeling? How are you doing? What's your energy like? I mean, it's an important day today.
Absolutely great. I wanted to use the word, I'm ecstatically delighted, much if I don't have legs, but the atmosphere was so brilliant, and the speeches, especially from our provincial leader as well as our federal leader, the fact that he mentioned something very important, and I think we must take this, the fact that he said the confusion with regard to the critics out there, but what they don't realize is the fact that we are going nowhere. We are at the right side, in the center, where we keep the balance, meaning we are on the side of the voters. I am just absolutely happy.
And Councillor, the other interesting thing is that, we're talking about service delivery here, and we're talking about how, residents in the Free State have really suffered the most injustice. I mean, a lack of water, a lack of service delivery. I mean, you are a councillor in Dichabeng. Can you tell us more? What is the state of the municipality in this province?
Again, I want to be brutally honest with you, but I don't want to sound like a cliche, because this is mostly people criticize us that we can only just oppose and oppose. But however, we normally address this and we give a lot of inputs to change the decorum. But however, there is nothing, I could put it to you this way, there's not just some challenges in the Free State, but there is a lot of challenges because of the fact, if you go out there, unfunded budgets, cash flow problems, the fact that there is incompetent cadres appointment every day, every corner that you have, the fact that so many of us don't even know where our bread comes from. Let me explain something to you. On a daily basis in Bethlehem, in Dichabeng, you go on one road, 74 potholes, and yet you say that the ANC have changed the system, the ANC have do good. So I can't see something along the line. I would like to have those critics to come to Bethlehem and to come and see in Dichabeng, and then maybe they will have a different story.
And there we have it from Councillor Masdorp. Roy, before I let you go, because I know you are needed inside, of course, what is the message here for the people of Free State? What must they expect from here on out heading into this local government election, which is quite a significant election?
I think it's important to know that we don't just wait for elections to be involved in communities. Our public representatives get evaluated on their continuous involvement between elections as well. So we will be on the ground as we have always been. We will be offering our voters their DA difference as we have always done, and we will continue up until the election when we get into government to be an effective opposition in the Free State by exposing things but also offering people alternatives. And I spoke about the recipe that we have is tried and tested in municipalities where we govern. We're going to take that DA difference, we're going to bring it to the Free State, and that is what we are offering the people of the Free State. But I also want to say that for those places where the DA is in government and where people have got used to good services, a decent DA government, and are considering now perhaps other options, come to the Free State and come and see what a government under the ANC looks like. And then you will definitely recommit yourself to the DA and to ensuring that your DA government stays in government in your municipality. Because it's amazing for me when I go to places like perhaps Cape Town or the Western Cape, people say, oh, you know, there are other alternatives. Come to the Free State. We should be loading people in buses and bringing them to the Free State and showing them what the other option is if they don't vote for the DA in other provinces and other municipalities as well. And to the Free State is I'm saying go to those places and see what the DA difference is. But I think I don't have to tell people because everyone knows that. They just have to make their mind shift and make sure that on election day they vote with their minds and not with their hearts.
And that's it. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me and sharing such important views. Well, the people of Free State showed up and showed out. It's been an interesting day. Of course, you can hear the loud cheers inside. The fun is still going on inside, but it has been a very interesting day. And I think for the people of Free State, the Democratic Alliance is ready to bring the blueprint to the Free State and ensure that we bring the service delivery, that your taps have water, that your street lights have lights on. We want to ensure that we work for you. That is the DA difference, and it's time for the DA difference in the Free State. Today has been incredible. I want to thank each and every guest that came onto the show. It was truly an amazing day. My name is Luyolo Mpiti, and I'm signing out and see you soon.
Alala DA.